in those two reviews and stuff.
Good Monday afternoon, everyone. You guys know me, Amy, here with Sandy and Russell for Author Talk, and our guest today is Johnny. So everyone, hey, I'm so excited.
Hello out there at noon on Monday. So, Amy, why don't you tell everybody why we've changed our time today?
Because it's awesome.
We had to change the time today, you guys, because of me this time. I was being interviewed by one of the radio show hosts at Vinyl Draft Radio, which you guys know I work at, and I have a show at. I was on the Beauty Boss show, and she was interviewing me about my live in-person seminar that I had on Friday and all the feedback that I got.
And the fact that you're going to now do it online. I heard that.
Yes,
you have a date and everything.
Yes.
So I am so proud of her. Aren't you proud of her, Russell?
I think, yeah. She's about time for her to quit wasting her time with us. She's moving up.
No, I have exciting news for you guys that we have to talk later, though.
We're so proud. We're so proud.
We are.
I'm such a big girl now, you guys. I'm
a big girl.
Plus, you've already made your husband go back to school, so you're happy.
Yes, I'm much happier now.
So, Gola, our little girl's growing up. So I know your mom is watching, and I know she's so proud of you too. Did you see that I shared your interview?
I did. You guys are so nice. My support system from you guys is amazing. I love it. I'm so grateful.
And we want to welcome today to our show, Johnnie Bernhard. Yay, Johnny. Formerly lived in Texas, now lives in Mississippi. And you're from Texas, right?
Yes, I'm a Houston girl, Houstonian.
Yay. And now you were just telling us about where you live. So tell us about that.
Well, I live in a 19th century cottage and actually survived Katrina on the Mississippi Sound. That is near Biloxi, about a mile from the Hard Rock Casino in Biloxi on Beach Boulevard. So it's a nice spot to write, and I always welcome other writers. Happy to share what I've learned along the way.
And you said you invite writers sometimes to come there and spend time with you.
Absolutely. Right. My husband and I also have a nice place, a small place in the hill country of Texas, near the YO Ranch, and it's small, but it's quiet and a great place for resting and for writing. So we someday we hope to be back there full time in Texas, earning a living now, like most folks. But I have two great writing spots.
Well, that's great. So one of the things we always talk about on Monday mornings is what we did over the weekend. So we had a very exciting weekend this weekend. And Amy and I and Bola and all of our whole team and everyone we could recruit has been working to make Sue Hawley a bestseller for the third time this year. Oh my gosh. This has been such an exciting weekend. Started Friday night while I was still in Sedona, which is another beautiful story.
Yes.
I could share. Oh my gosh. You talk about a writing place. I could really, as a matter of fact, I came home. Well, so there's Sue in the top. She's in the top 5%. So best-selling author, number 24 right here of however many millions of cozy mysteries there are. Mm. And also she just, she's had some great reviews. We want more reviews though. So if you bought the book or you downloaded it this weekend, or it's been free all weekend because of Grandparents' Day, it is still free today. As a free download on Kindle, and will be free until midnight tonight Pacific time. So 2 a.m. So we have over 12 hours. You have over 12 hours to still download the copy of the book, to say hi to Sue. And for those of you that are in our mastermind with Sue, those of you that are in our courses with Sue, those that are in our community of authors, download the book and write a review. And one of the things I want to, and Johnny, you are aware of this, reviews can make or break a book.
Absolutely.
And, the right review can just put it over the top. And we're going to talk about your 2 books.
I'm very excited about talking about her reviews.
I know she's got some great reviews and has some great awards. So, yay! So, Russell, what about your weekend? You still?
We went to Austin.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, all over Austin, these scooters that you can rent everywhere in Austin. They're packed and it's dangerous. And I thought, whoa. I was going to get one, but my wife said no. And there's this beautiful, and as I was running one morning, there's beautiful sculpture along the river. This is an important actual piece. Look at it. It actually visually appears to move.
It does. It looks like it is moving.
And my wife, who's gone YouTube and camera crazy, I walk in Saturday and she has her own drone delivered.
I was going to say, that looks like a drone.
Yeah. So,
what is she doing with it?
We're taking this to India with us.
Oh
She's decided we're going to, and so we tried to, before it rained us out, we were practicing drones for our YouTube channels this weekend.
I'm telling you, we never know what to expect from you. I thought you had another boring weekend of getting up and training for the marathon.
I did that.
You did that and all the other stuff?
Yes, and I babysat my magnificent 22-month-old granddaughter Saturday night. And boy, does she know how to tell Grandpa what to do. It's awful.
I bet she does. I bet. Well, as a matter of fact, I saw my new grandson last night. My son invited us over for dinner because I never get to see him. And I have pictures, but I didn't upload them or anything for here. But it will be 5 months old on the 13th, which is like 3 days from now. And he is like a solid rock. I mean, he is gorgeous, and I can hardly carry him around for very long because he's not chubby, but he is solid. Oh my gosh. But he's adorable. Oh my gosh. I just love him. So I know I can't wait till he's 22 months and I can walk around with him and do things with him. That'll be fun. So yay for grandparents. And yesterday was Grandparents' Day, by the way. So yeah.
That was part of your promotion.
Part of the promotion for Sue was because Sue, so to tell you a little bit about Sue's book, those of you that have not seen the thousands of posts on Facebook. As a matter of fact, Amy, I have to tell you, I got a call this morning from one of our other clients, and I'll tell you about it. She goes, I want to see as much of myself on Facebook as I saw of your other client this weekend.
Very good.
Well, Sue has a lot of fans that will share your posts too.
Yes, she does. Sue has a family that shares.
No, I mean fans like Russell.
Oh, like Russell.
And there's lots of Russells that are fans of Sue.
There are. Sue is like, and Sue said, so is my little guy. That's right. Sue has a grandson that's like 1 month older than mine. And I posted that picture yesterday. Sue, did you see that? It's on Facebook because it was Happy Grandparents' Day. Anyway.
Well, don't look for it now.
I found a picture of Sue holding her new little grandson. So that's on Facebook. Anyway, yay for grandparents and grandchildren. And Johnnie, you have kids and grandkids as well, right?
Yes, I have a son in Houston, works for Shell International, daughter-in-law, she's at MD Anderson, and my daughter is a solicitor that lives in Crossmaglen, Ireland, where I have a granddaughter and a grandson.
I remember that from when I was working with you on the your first book. So that's awesome. Yes. Very exciting. So Amy, your weekend.
My weekend after Friday was uneventful.
And you were glad.
Yes, a lot of it was sending, like, I sent a bunch of personal messages to everyone that came, and then emailing people about more information. And so eventually I just turned my computer off, which was nice. I haven't been able to do that and not feel guilty about doing that in a long time. So it was nice.
Well, you were definitely on something because you were posting about Sue and sharing all that all weekend.
Oh, that's on my phone. That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
I love to, and that's, no, that doesn't count.
Because between Amy and Vola and I, we probably set a record for how many groups we posted in this weekend. And that doesn't count all the other help that I had solicited and paid for from Fiverr and all those places. So
we did do an Instagram Live and invite each other.
Yes, thank you. I have never done an Instagram Live before.
Johnny, do you do Instagram Lives?
Not live. I'm quite aware of Instagram and have an account, but not live.
Well, Amy, tell them how to do it. Because, I mean, honestly, she told me and I looked and I didn't think it was going to work. And then I'm like, where I had a choice to go live. I'm like, oh, there it is. So would you please share that?
Where your stories is, like if you go to take a photo and stuff in your stories or do a super zoom, you scroll over and it'll say live. And then it'll tell you, okay, you are now live. And then you can go live for almost 10 minutes. Ours, I think it cut Sandy off at 10 minutes. But you can go live.
It's easy to cut Sandy off.
10 minutes? I was just getting started.
Well, she was just getting started, and it's like, oh, she's done.
That's like Vola leaving a message on your phone, Amy.
It is.
She just gets started, it cuts her off.
Oh.
So I want to get to Johnny's book.
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm dying to.
So which one you want to start with? Okay, this is not her book. This is her speaker sheet or her one sheet for about her new book, the latest book, How We Came to Be. So when I first met Johnny, she had just come out with the Good Girl book, which is a great read. And I haven't read this one. I can't wait to read this one. So tell us about your books, Johnny, and how you happen to write them and the whole story behind them.
Well, both books have settings in Texas. I think it's real important for writers to have an authentic voice and authentic sense of place. So I write about places I've been. How We Came to Be, which came out May 2018, is set in Houston, Austin, and New Orleans, and a small part in the Texas Hill Country west of Kerrville. Now, this is the story of 4 people in different walks in life, highly unlikely to all come together. We have a single mom in Houston that's a full-time high school teacher who loves her wine, perhaps a bit too much. We have an 18-year-old girl who is adopted by her aunt, hasn't spoken to her mom in years, and is about to leave for the University of Texas, where she makes some poor decisions. There's an ink tattoo parlor with a juicing bar that she works at, and all kinds of characters that only Austin could have.
That makes me happy. That's a good paragraph description.
It's called the Ink and Juice. So you could get freshly made carrot juice and a tattoo while you're drinking your carrot juice, the Ink and Juice on Guadalupe in Austin. Our other character is Mel, middle-aged. He's a disabled vet, and he's trying to resurrect his life. And he has joined a MFA program at the University of Texas. He wants to become a writer. And then our 4th character is a World War II refugee from Budapest, Leona. She's a widow lady living across the street from the single mom in Montrose.
In Houston.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Now, Leona keeps a very nice yard. Her flower beds are perfect. And the single mom across the street doesn't watch her pets who go to Leona's yard every day. So a friendship, highly unlikely, comes together one Christmas Eve in Houston when they realize they were both alone.
Wow.
So this is why it's called How We Came to Be. For these four characters, not who they were separately in their brokenness and confusion, but how they came to be as a modern family.
Wow, that does sound good.
I got to tell you what, looking at what we're sharing now, you have some incredible review quotes on your sheet. Do you put those on the back of your book?
Well, yes, sir. I'm published by Texas Review Press, which is a university press connected with A&M and the Texas Book Consortium. And what I do with the publisher, 5 months before the book comes out, we start sending an ARC, electronic version of that manuscript, a little rough, to different reviewers.
Right.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, an ARC, A-R-C, is Advanced Reader's Copy. So in the traditional publishing world, which thank you, Johnny, because I know she's very much entrenched in that. In the traditional publishing world, the publisher will print ARCs, Advanced Reader's Copy, send them out, not completely edited and still in a little bit of a rough draft. And the minimum time required, I think, is 6 months. Is that right, Johnny?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. But something important to remember for the listeners out there that they may be self-published. Why not do this as a self-published author? Because I think all of us, whether traditional or self-published, we all want to put out a quality, respectable product. And I think what brings that quality and respectability are decent reviews, not paid for reviews, but decent reviews. And to put them on your back cover as a book blurb or inside the book, and along with a great book cover, that's what's going to get us the readers we want and that fan base.
100% agreed. Absolutely. The most critical thing about anyone's book, as far as the marketing, is the reviews.
And those were spectacular.
Yes.
Thank you.
So good job, Johnny. Very good job. And of course, Johnny knows all this. She's been in the publishing business herself. And so, and I agree with you, Johnny. Why don't self-published authors do the same thing? And that's, that's something to explore, really.
Well, I got my start with Houston Writers Guild. I was looking for a strong support group when I began writing A Good Girl, which ended up being shortlisted by the Faulkner Society. That's an international award. And I'm very proud of that, but I got to do the shout out to Houston Writers Guild because it was working with those writers. And I did it from Mississippi because Fern Brady created a virtual critique group and writing group for me that I learned how to write dialogue. And I had all these great writers from Houston helping me. It was incredible. So I love to give back because I was very green and I've worked hard and I've learned a lot along the way and I'd love to share it. And that's why every chance I get to go to the conference with Houston Writers Guild, I love to teach a panel about how to get reviews, how to write a query letter. What is the submission process? I love to help. I think what happens to authors or writers before they're published, they just don't know these things. And it's easy to be led astray by somebody that's got a let me do it for you all remedy. But nothing really replaces the hard work and listening to people that do this every day. So I want to do one quick shout out about the cover of How We Came to Be. This is done by a Texas artist. It's a watercolor. Nancy Parsons, you could Google her. She's got a great website. She's been around for a long time. I'm very proud that she was able to do the cover of How We Came to Be. Wonderful lady. I believe Nancy lives in Huntsville. has won numerous awards for her art.
Is that a watercolor?
It is. It is.
There's nothing more beautiful than the touch of a watercolor.
Well, I wanted to give the story behind that cover. This is our character, Tiffany, as a young girl. Her dad dies. Her mom kind of splits the scene, and she's adopted by a loving aunt, a single woman working a full-time job. And Tiffany's got some isms. She's a little insecure. So I thought, if I can make Tiffany the monkey bar queen, here's this little girl, symbolic for holding on for dear life, trying to make that next rung as she processes graduating from a Houston public high school and going to the University of Texas. And she's showing up at UT Austin. She's not a sorority girl. Her parents aren't showing up with an RV to tailgate for the games. She's there on a teeny tiny scholarship without much of a platform. And she later, through several things, becomes the monkey bar queen because she learns how to navigate life.
Wow.
Need a safety net.
So you're teaching a course too, aren't you? You mentioned that.
Yes, sir. I'm going to be this Thursday at the University of South Mississippi for a 5-week course on writing. It's called Writing Your Story. I'm delighted to do it. It's such a joy to meet with other writers, and we're going to talk about the editing process, the point of view process. What's the best point of view to choose for your narrative? So that's 5 weeks, and I'd love to bring this to Houston, maybe as a program for Houston Writers Guild. I've taught something like this at the Kerr County Cultural Arts Center in Kerrville. I'm a road warrior. I've got lots of family.
You definitely are.
So I'm always happy to share what I've learned.
When the first book was coming out, and I was helping her with getting some press releases and stuff done, she was always in the middle of doing something like that as far as the next author group and you sent me all these information on all these groups and everything. It was like, wow. I mean, Russell, she goes to more of those kind of things than I do. So I have to.
Well, I don't believe that. But I do believe that David wishes that you would go over to her house to write so he could go down to the casino.
Well, come on. You're welcome. I try. Yeah, all my money goes to gas and coffee, you know. When somebody invites me, because this was a life dream for me, I worked the job. I was a high school teacher. I loved it. But when I had the opportunity to slow down and do something I always wanted to do, I told myself, if someone invites me and wants to talk about the book, I'm going to show up.
And you definitely have. You have done that at so many different places. And yay, where are you going to be in 2019?
Oh, I'm so excited. This is incredible. I've just been invited by Kathy L. Murphy, Pulpwood Queen Extraordinaire, to be an author at her Girlfriend Weekend in Nacogdoches. And like you, Sandy, she does a terrific job of supporting authors all over the country. And it's an international book club. It's amazing what she's done.
I'm telling you that is, I knew about that event.
I've never even heard of it.
And the Pulpwood Queen, she has authors up to her place for like a weekend in the spring, January, February, sometime the time frame. And I mean, oh my gosh, she's had some of the top authors in there. So, and I'm so glad that Johnny, that you're going to be there. It's just like, it's on my bucket list. So you tell her I'm stalking her.
Will do.
Oh no, Amy, we try with her. Sandy has this thing about stalking. We, as her friends, we have to help her.
It's not a thing, it's an addiction. on an intervention.
I'd like to think that perhaps Sandy's stalking is more of, I support people who support me. Because you can't do it.
He knows that. He knows
this. I mean, I'm guilty of stalking too, Sandy.
Thank you, John.
And for everyone that's put a hand out for me when I was starting out, Fern, you, all those other great people in Texas, Rosemary James in New Orleans with the Faulkner Society. I mean, there have been many people. I like to do something in return.
That's awesome.
And that is why I love working with authors right there, because no other group that I know of is as supportive and giving back as authors, because it requires a village to create a book. Yes. And so through that, you meet so many contacts, so many people lift you up, so many people support you, so many people tell you how good you are, so many people in the critique groups. And then one day you arrive and you give back. And I just love that. I love that about Sue Hawley. Oh my gosh, our client that's had the book launch this weekend. So it just works with authors. Russell, you are an example of it as well. So even though
you don't to leave me out,
might not like to admit it and may not want me to tell anybody, but you really do help people. I know you don't want to be known for that, but
I don't want to be known for that.
Anyway, so thank you, Johnny. That was incredible. Thank you for that. So so talk about The Good Girl for a minute, because that one is it's not like your life story or anything, but it is kind of based on somebody's life story that would come to Texas. And I learned so much from that book about how people got to Texas.
Thank you, Sandy. Well, I wrote A Good Girl. It debuted in March of 2017. It's different from how we came to be. It's more literary fiction. Basically, what I did is take the backstory of an Irish immigrant from Ireland coming to Indianola, which is in South Texas. It's really just a strip of sand now surrounded by water. In the 19th century, and this comes from the Texas Almanac, Texas Historical Society, so it's a bit of a historic fiction book. Indianola was rivaling Galveston as a port in Texas in the 19th century, except for a hurricane came and wiped it off the face of the earth. I was told that story as a child by my father, and I've never forgotten it. My grandmother, who's German, told me she grew up near Port Lavaca, and all of us remember Harvey, of course. And Harvey touched the area of Port Lavaca and South Texas, Indianola, what's left of it. But my grandma grew up in that area, and as a young girl, a young bride, went through a significant hurricane. I can remember her telling me it was the strangest thing. I woke up the next morning and everything I owned was floating in water. And my grandmother's been gone for quite some time, but I've never forgotten those stories. So what I wanted to do with The Good Girl is take the beautiful Texas history of when it was an independent country, bring in the Irish immigrant, bring in the German immigrant. They meet in Indianola, and this German boy falls in love with an Irish girl. And from there, it's the story of 6 generations. So this is the big Texas history book, as well as a story about family, our relationships to our parents, our husbands, our children, who we are and who we change to become change as the years and events hit us. You know, sometimes we change for the better with what life brings us, and sometimes we don't. So that's the story of A Good Girl. I've been all over. It's a big book club book. People are really touched by it, and I can't think of a better compliment. And I think the reason why people are touched about it, because I write about real people, ordinary people, and what life brings them. I try
because of that, that's awesome, and I can't wait to read your next book because I really did. And so I knew when you were saying that, I was going to see if Sue said anything, and she did. So Sue Hawley's family is from Port Aransas. So right now she's writing her series of cozy mysteries about Bath, Ohio, but she has another series in the works and one book almost finished about Port Aransas and her father and his family and all the people that grew up there. So right in the same Port Lavaca, all of those in the same kind of general area of Texas around the Corpus area.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I read that book, and when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, what a great story. But I could tell it was historically correct because I you had just gone to such.
And Johnny describes it poetically, doesn't she?
She does, doesn't she?
Well, we've all had our Texas history in the 7th grade. we learned those facts in the 7th grade. And so a good girl is a love note to Texas, my Texas roots. There's a little bit of Mississippi in it because I love coastal Mississippi on the Gulf Coast. And it's a love note to family.
It is. It's all of that. So how would somebody get in touch with you, Johnny, if they wanted you to come either like speak at their event or teach your course or just buy one of your books?
Thank you, Sandy. Well, you could go to the website or you could simply send me an email.
What's your email address?
Johnny, as you can see on the screen, Johnnie, I.E. Bernhard with the D, author, AUTHOR @gmail.com. Johnnie Bernhard, author @gmail.com.
And that is awesome. So I can't wait till we see you again at the Houston Writers Guild. So we do have Indie Palooza coming up in October. And I'll check to see if your name is on the list. Russell and I, are both on the board. So doesn't mean anything as far as influence, but we can suggest it. So
it means that we can be asked to do stuff.
Yeah, it does. We'll be there doing stuff. So, and I'll have a table there, and I do still have a copy of Good Girl, so I'll have that there with me as well if you're not there. And if you want me to have some one or two of the others there, let me know, and I'll be.
Sandy, who's watching?
So, we have Sue, of course, because she's been very active communicating with us about her grandson, about her grandparents living on the Texas coast, about 7th grade history. So, Sue, you and Johnny should connect. You'd be a great connection for each other. And then we have Vola, of course, is watching. Bill Meganhart. Bill, I want Bill to be on Author Talk sometime soon. Bill is a great illustrator. I've seen his work. I've seen him do an event where somebody gives him a topic and he does the picture right there while they're watching.
won't be able to be on Author Talk too then.
So we're gonna have him on, and as soon I told him this morning, I sent him a message and said I'm gonna check to see our next available date. So he's on. Let's see, it says 2 other people. Not sure who those people are. So Amy, can you tell anybody else that's on other than the ones I mentioned?
No, ma'am. Those are the ones I was gonna mention.
Okay, so it will be a Author Talk. So Johnny, just so you know. After this, I will download the video, Author Talk, from Facebook, and I will put it on YouTube. And
please subscribe and like our channel.
Yeah.
And then from YouTube, I put it on my website, on the homepage. I have the latest Author Talk on the homepage of my website. And so we'll be I want people to go to my website as well. So any last words from anybody? We've been on this a little longer than usual, but that's fine. It was great conversation. So Russell, anything going on with you this week?
It is, but I got to tell you, I am so honored to meet you, Johnny, and I cannot wait to meet you at the next Guild Indie Palooza.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure as well.
Amy, what's up?
No, thank you so much for coming on. I learned so much. That's why I was quiet. I was like, oh man, I have learned so much, and I'm excited to see you again at Indie Palooza. So thank you so much for coming on.
And Amy, we didn't get to your social media tip or question for the day.
That's okay.
I know. Well, I know. I mean,
it's okay.
We got to her press conference instead.
Yeah, we did talk about that instead. So Valerie did send us, we're not going to talk about it today. We don't have time, but it was a great topic. And
yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Why aren't we getting the reach today on Facebook that we got? And so I want to talk about that next week. Right. And so, Johnny, any last words from you?
Thank you for the opportunity. Lovely meeting all of you. Hope to work with you sometime in the future. Send me an email. Always happy to connect and share. Blessings to all.
Thank you. And honestly, you guys, don't you just feel like we have the best opportunity of anybody that we get to meet these authors on Author Talk and share their story and their books. And this is it's just a great way to live. I love this. So thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to say goodbye to everyone on Facebook.